many over the years, so I'm going to try to do that in the time allotted. John told me when I got here I could talk as long as I wanted, but you were leaving at 1:30. So I'm going to try to stay within those parameters. First of all, let me talk about what we found when we came to Oakland. A lot of people have asked me over the past few months, why are you doing this? And my first response was because I hadn't used up all my copay at Betty Ford. My current response is I now have. What we found was an amazing situation in an amazing town. We found something that didn't exist anywhere else in America, and that was a transportation hub in the center of a technology center that met global needs, with a port on one side, freeways on the other, a BART station, an Amtrak station, an airport connector, and a city that had been neglected for several decades. And we looked at it on the basis of not is this a development, but can this become a regional destination point that can affect an entire portion of Northern California. And our judgment was this really wasn't about the sports teams, even though all of the headlines were about a new Raiders stadium or a new ballpark for the A's, or can you keep the Warriors? And the specific plan that the city had begun in 2011 and had completed, was just completing when we came in, was a fabulous plan. It's aspirational, it's great, and it covers a large footprint, some 800 acres. And I really applaud the city for doing that. It was foresightful, and we certainly wouldn't be here if that hadn't been done and the EIR according to that hadn't been done. But the fact of the matter is that this is not an 800-acre kind of move everybody out development. This is a development in and around the Coliseum, in and around the BART station. It is not a sports development. It frankly is not dependent upon any sports team being here or not being here, but it is dependent upon the transportation hub. It is dependent upon the people outside of here getting a grasp of what Oakland could be if this was developed. And by the way, if those things come together, as every study has shown since 2010, then it supports 3 professional sports teams. And so when we looked at it, it was not how do you finance a new stadium, but how do you build a community that's based on the decade coming in 2020. If we started today, the earliest we would have anything open for businesses in 2020. What will the technology be in 2020 that's coming out of the guys on the East Bay? What would that be? What in the world